and with my secret preserving recipe, and they will last a lifetime. Hi, my name's Heather Mitchell, and today we are going to look at some photos from my Instagram account. This is an amazing experience, which we had earlier this year in the middle of winter in freezing Victoria, doing a wonderful Christmas film for Stan called The Jones Family Christmas. It was a joyous production to do, and it's just a joyous, wonderful Christmas film. I play the matriarch of the family, a country woman living on a farm, and she is desperate to get her family together. And she brings them together, and of course, everything goes awry. And I think more and more Australians are loving sort of the Christmas movies. And so I hope the response will be, heartwarming and positive. Yeah. Okay, look, I love giving presents on opening nights. I find opening nights of theatre in particular really a magical moment. So the toast began after doing a play with the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. And at the end of the show, there was toast littered all over the stage. It was one of the props that was used. So I collected them and, cut the story short, started with a chopstick, watered down Vegemite and drawing on the toast, and started giving them as gifts. I've done hundreds of them, from sourdough landscapes to gluten-free portraits, even crumpets. Look, it's a fun thing that I like to do, and it's just to acknowledge the people I've worked with. Yeah. I've written a book called Everything and Nothing this year. It's a memoir, but it's not a memoir that focuses necessarily on the industry, on my professional life. They're just a collection of stories from my life, really. But I was very much encouraged to write it by a wonderful journalist and author, Malcolm Knox. I think since having done this, and I would encourage anyone, find someone who would encourage them and just write stories and send it to a person to read and then encourage you to keep going. If I can do it, anyone can. I found that old photograph. So the colour photograph is from a series called Love Me, which is very dear to my heart. I've known Hugo since we were both at NIDA. That was a series called Bodyline, which was actually the very first mini-series shot in Australia. But it was an amazing opportunity. I don't think I realised at the time what an amazing opportunity that was. I look back and think, wow, I was very fortunate. But it was wonderful to work with Hugo then, and then to go on and do a number of jobs with Hugo, and then to reconnect with him again. I just found those photos just so wonderfully sort of mirroring each other. Yeah. Well, that's my husband, Martin McGrath. Martin's a director of photography. We've been together 34 years, I think, married for 30. We have 2 sons, and we spend a lot of time apart. We both freelance workers, and we go where the work is. And we always make sure that we have date nights. We have a few things that we make sure we do, which are sort of rituals, and we're like homing pigeons. We sort of come back and then we flutter down to these things. But that was just one of a photo of us being reunited and having a date night. A wonderful Ruth B Ginsburg. We performed it a year ago. The great Susie Miller, an extraordinary writer. But Ruth B Ginsburg, we have both had great passion for her. And so Susie wrote this play for me, and it was the most, I would say it was a highlight of my, certainly my theatrical career, in that not only being able to say the words that this woman said, the extraordinary mind that she had, but to get into her personal life. When we did it last year in Sydney, we were sold out and people were standing at the back every night to watch, and people were deeply moved by it. So I'm really fortunate to get to do that again, because you never feel that you nail anything. So it's great to be able to revisit that. The thing that I get most recognised for is Spellbinder. Spellbinder is a kids show I did back in the 80s, which my husband actually shot. And we shot that in Poland and in China. And so the kids who used to race over from school to watch it are now in their 30s, very often saying, Ashka, Ashka, and people wanting to take selfies with me, doing my action. So that's hilarious to me. And I think that's also a great reminder of the importance of doing children's shows, because children become adults. And also our memories of our childhood are so precious to us. So the things that we remember and identify with give us great excitement